I don't think it's been turned over.
90 to 100. So, because you got all your IFTA tax, all your state tax, your insurance is a killer, fuel from all your money, and breakdowns. So, and it's even worse when fuel.
We're ready.
Oh, okay, all right. You good to go? You ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's start. If everyone stands for me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Play ball. Now you guys looked at this, all the changes we did last night on the line numbers, those are in there. What we did, spoke with Kathy, what we did with the water. Since we got all the pipes.
I'm sorry, there's a whole new
Yeah,
packet?
Yeah.
Or just the front page?
No, a whole new packet.
I didn't get a packet, I just got a front page.
Jeff did give it to her, Jeff?
No, I just got one.
No, you had all four of them.
Nope, I just took the top one off.
Oh,
Yeah, I just got two cover
I thought you
pages
took all
like
four of them and
this.
gave them out. Okay.
That's
It's
one.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
I only got two.
I didn't get a whole packet.
My bad.
There's a whole new copy. Sure, Jeff. Grab your, don't help anyone else. Let's see.
There's so many revisions, who knows what
Yeah.
papers you're supposed to be looking at.
Okay, so all of those were, everything, A's and B's and DA's and TB's, all those changes were done. Let's start on water. What was done in the supply contractual, we were going off of previous years, averaged them out. So I spoke with Kathy, and since we've got all of the lines fixed, no more leaks in the town, we projecting this year that our supply should not exceed our metered sales. We'll start out that way, and January 31st, we can figure out exactly what's going on with each water district. Each month, we can check it. So basically, we're projecting from a clean start with no leaks.
And that should reduce what you're taking out of fund balance.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And we can, if we need to, we can adjust from there and
Okay, but
whatever we need to do with water rates or whatever.
I still go back and say though, for 4A and B, what are we gonna do? Because those fund balances are already negative, which means that those two districts must have paid bills from getting money from someplace else. So we have to, sooner or later, Drescher and Malecki will figure out where that went, who ended up funding that. We're gonna have to pay it back.
Yep.
So what are you thinking of doing there?
Right now,
Yeah, are we gonna,
I don't think there's anything we can do right now.
are you gonna,
I know 4A and 4B, I think they were the ones that were, isn't that what it was, 4A and 4B,
Yep.
minus 57.
so is that something Tina's gonna help us figure out what to do? Are we gonna bond it? Are we going to
Yeah, once
raise the rates? What,
that's what we gotta decide, if we're gonna raise the rates, if we would bond to fix it until we get the exact numbers. Am I correct on that, Kathy? There's not much we can do until we get the exact numbers on water?
Right, and so I think we can decide whether or not we bond it or whether or not you borrow it from one of the other funds and pay it back by the end of the year.
but we'll discuss that like shortly after we finish this budget. Like I just don't wanna be in like July talking about,
No,
What we're doing.
like I said, Linda, my next task is to start looking at
Okay.
water stuff.
okay.
Okay, any other questions on that part?
And water, I don't think so.
Okay, so the next big question is snow plowing. You got the two sheets from Kathy? So it comes down to how you guys wanna tax the town. You got 2 sheets there. Everyone got 2 sheets. Right? Yep. One is, everyone pays $3.40 townwide. And the other one is, the village pays $2.39. Well, it's gonna be more, not much more. It'll be a couple cents more because we have to move social security, we have to move payroll, we have to move
Well, the payroll's already moved. I already moved the payroll.
hospitalization, everything that's in that DA line needs to be moved over. That goes with that.
Well, I moved payroll, so you're right. There's the benefit line, and
Yeah.
I would have no way of knowing what the benefits are for those employees. But the FICA tax is a 7.65, so you're talking on, what was it, $100,000? You're talking like $8,000, which is going to meet a couple
Right, so there's,
couple pennies.
right, right, as I understand it, there's some portion of DA 90 10 800, DA 90 3800, DA 90 4800, and DA 90 6800, right? There's a small percentage of those that would need to be hashed out and also transferred over to DB. But yes, Tina, when I spoke to her today, said that it's not going to be a lot. So yes, so you're talking about, maybe a penny,
Pennies.
maybe 2 pennies, but right.
The only other question
pennies on the tax rate.
The only other question we had, Tina brought up before you joined us, was if we can set. She's not sure if we have to move all of that from the DA over. She said that's a legal question. She didn't know. Brush and weed control, machinery, all that. If that needed to be moved with it, she's not sure if you can separate those. She said that was a question for you to find out. 5130, 5140 lines, but we can figure that out. So again, it comes down, we can make this work either way. It comes down to taxes, what you want to tax the people. If we move it,
Yeah, Scott, I think that stuff is okay in DA because it that does maintain stuff that would be for everybody.
yeah, I couldn't find anything on it, and Tina wasn't sure, and we
But
said we'd ask you.
right.
Okay.
So I would respectfully disagree with that statement of it comes down to taxes. I think it comes down to what's right and wrong. Well, you can see the tax implication is not a lot. So what's really the right thing to do? So if you feel that the Shelby residents that happen to live within the village should pay the same rate that the Shelby residents outside, I would like to understand, knowing that they get no services from Shelby, fair enough, but I would like you to explain why you think that would be fair to the Shelby residents that live within the village limits.
I understand what you're saying. I don't have an answer for you.
Well, no, because it's your perspective, I guess. There is no right or wrong answer. I'm just asking what your opinion on that is.
Well, my opinion was, as long as everybody was paying equal, I was happy with that. I just didn't want the outside people of the town of Shelby paying more and the inside town paying less. I didn't want us on the outside to have to pick up the cost.
Well, by doing what we're doing, let's pretend that we went with the snow plowing, okay? You can look that the outside town rate actually goes down 27 cents. Okay? The inside, the full town rate, so for those people within the village and the people outside, it goes up 18 cents. So from this year. So your taxes are technically going down. But do we pay the same rate? No. But that's just like you don't pay, as an outside person, you don't pay anything to maintain the streets that are in Shelby within the village. You don't pay anything where we do. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think the rate, in my opinion, the rate should not be the same, and that's why. So I'm asking you if you think the rate should be the same, where you and I pay the same tax rate. I would just like to understand why you think what your opinion is to, why do you feel that way? Why do you think we should pay the same?
I guess my opinion was that, once again, I just didn't wanna see, I think it boils right down back to the people that are in the village still use the town roads.
And are you saying that the people out of the village don't use the village
No,
roads?
because we
Okay.
go back and forth.
Okay,
That's why I think that everybody should pay the same rate.
so you're saying the village could turn around and say, if 50% of the highway department budget within the village belongs to the town of Shelby, which would be $750,000. I think I'm quoting. I won't say exactly. I want to say that I think their highway budget is like $1.5 million, but we'll call it $1 million.
Okay,
So if the village turned around and said, okay, since the village taxpayers in Shelby maintain those roads and it costs them $500,000, half of the million, right?
Mhm.
They can bill Shelby for that, and then you'd be okay with, then Shelby can then take that $500,000 and bill all of the Shelby residents for that. That way, everybody in Shelby is paying for all the roads in Shelby. That's going back to what you're saying, is that everybody is paying for the same thing.
that's what they're doing now, right?
No,
Everybody's
no, they are not. No, they are not. The village roads, the
Are
roads that,
paid by,
just by the village
Village.
residents, right, just by the Shelby taxpayers in the village. We pay to maintain, those Shelby residents pay to maintain the roads that are in Shelby.
I understand.
Whereas, and so that's why my argument is, if what you're saying is you want us all to pay the same, I'm saying that you're not. Because you are not paying to maintain the highway, the road repair, the snow
In the
plowing
village.
in the village. And I say the village, in Shelby, within the village limits, because it is Shelby.
It is Shelby, but the village is paying for the,
If,
doing the roads.
if we went with,
And the village makes no money off of this. Like this, what I'm asking here has nothing to do with the village. It's just the taxpayers within Shelby.
so we're paying 417 and we dropped down to 409. Am I correct?
Yes,
We go down 8 cents.
yes.
Is there any, could it adversely affect us in any way doing that? I mean, is it?
No, because you
like
address
where
it
we
every
don't-
year.
Hmm?
You could address it every year. But I don't understand why he's saying that to you, because,
Yeah, because Ridgeway is definitely not gonna do it. I asked them, I go,
yeah,
so Shelby does it and Ridgeway doesn't. And to me, it seems kind of weird because she says it would affect us. And you're saying no.
that's not true. I'm saying that's not true.
He said that's whether or not they wanted to consider it.
They won't even consider
Okay,
it.
but I can show you that East Aurora does it, Orchard Park does it, all the towns within the Onondaga
Black and
County
white,
do it.
Linda, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I don't wanna find out 6 months down the road here that we made a mistake with something that I'm not aware of, because I'm telling you, Ridgeway has no
Because-
interest in this at all.
That's their opinion. They,
I'm not arguing, I'm just,
yep,
So every municipality that has a village, right? So for example, Barry doesn't have any villages within it, right? So everybody pays the same. So it's not an issue in Barry, right? It's an issue for towns that also have villages, and there's precedent to do it both ways. Some towns do it one way, some towns do it, each of the various town boards to make that determination, and they're free to make that determination every single year. So what you do this year doesn't bind a future board, right? So if you decide after this year you want to reconsider it next year, the board would be free to basically reconsider it a single year.
now, can I ask you, do we have to vote on this aspect of it to pass the budget?
yes.
Tonight, you talking?
See, my preference is I'd like to have the public have input into this. You know what I mean? They might see something we don't see.
And then go off of what they say.
Yeah, or get an idea, I mean,
Well, so that would be your public hearing, right? You could make
Right.
a decision one way or another. You could have the public hearing, and depending on what you heard in the public hearing, before you went final, you could, right, make a change to one way or the other. You can't change it once you go to final.
So,
But you can't have a referendum. It's not a referendum issue. It's a governing board issue. So you guys have to decide it, but you're certainly free to decide it based on input that comes in during the public hearing Thursday evening.
so if we vote on this right now, we approve this, right? And then we have the public hearing and we decide, well, that wasn't a good idea. Somebody had a real good point or whatever. We could change it?
Until we
Yeah.
adopt it as final.
Yeah, we can make a
You go to
stipulation and then.
Yeah, I
we'll
would
wait for the
prefer
public
that. I
hearing.
mean, I will vote for this as it is with 409 for right now with the stipulation that I had a public hearing. If somebody sees something that we're not seeing and they bring it up, and then we can change it if we need be, I'm fine with that.
Sounds fair enough.
You good with that?
Hmm?
You good with that?
I'm good with that. As long as the people
Someone
have a
make a
chance.
motion.
So what are we doing?
Make a motion.
We're gonna move the snow plowing.
Make a motion to accept it with,
Well, wait a minute,
plowing.
we're not completely done yet, are we? I have another question on something else. I wanna go back to the equipment reserve. Where was that?
Okay, that was, I actually have that figured out.
5130, DA 513021.
It was 100,000 you and I talked about for the quick reserve, 167 something for paying off the truck.
Yep,
It was 46 or 47,000 dollars left over of revenue that we stuck in there, and it may be spent, it may not be spent. We had to move the revenue.
okay, I'm sorry, I
There
don't
was-
remember.
Tina explained it to me today. There was extra money coming off of revenue, and she stuck it in the reserve. It was 41,000 something and 4,100 something.
But I don't see it in the, so you're saying like out of fund balance from this year, she thinks you're gonna end up with extra fund
Yeah.
balance this year?
Yeah, so we,
But
actually,
I-
we dropped it down. Hold on.
Okay.
I told her.
Oh, did I? Okay, I'm looking at the old one, sorry.
I told her to do 267 for the 100 we were putting in reserve and the 167. And she said there was 40, were you on the call when we talked about that, Kathy? No? Okay.
No, I was not on for that part.
There was 46,000 extra that had to be, she had a note on it. I don't remember exactly what she said.
Because if it's a leftover from the 2024 year, I would expect to see, if you put it, by putting it in here, that's meaning people are getting taxed for that $46,000 of expenses, unless you have an offsetting revenue that says it's just a wash. We have, right? In my mind, that's what I'm thinking. I might be missing something.
She explained it.
But,
She said it was leftover revenue, and it has to be on this year. I didn't bring the sheet that she gave me, that I wrote down, what she said.
I understand what you're saying, and if she's saying it's a carryover, like we have 46, and now you're gonna kind of keep a running total, but I just want to make sure that isn't going to end, that extra 46 that we're putting in there isn't going to the front page and we're taxing people for that money.
No. Anything in,
But that's what it looks like to me, because you look at the 941, and you come here and you got 941 on the front page. Right? So if the 941 of expenses is coming to this front page, that's saying that that's an expenditure that you need to,
Tax.
that we have to get money for from the public. I unless I'm missing something, which could very well be. Oh, is she joining us? Sorry.
no, she barely did.
All right. So I guess that's still an item. That's still an open item for me to want to understand. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I agree with you. I don't want people taxing.
If it's
Is there a way we can do it so they don't?
I don't know. That's why I think we need to ask Tina that, because that is a idiosyncrasy about fund accounting that I'm not familiar with. So that's why I just know enough to know that it looks to me like we're carrying that over, and I would like to understand that we're not putting that in the taxable column.
put it that, make sure that it can't be taxed?
Yeah. Well, we still can, this can be, changed at the
Change.
public hearing.
Okay.
So,
We just
But I think
can't,
she's got a good point. I mean, I'd like
It's
to
an
have.
open item that we need to understand.
I agree.
Linda
we
needs
just
to
mark that down.
understand it so she can explain it better.
Right.
Mark that one down. Okay. Did you have anything, was that it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So we made the other,
They should be highlighted, yeah.
the equipment is 51, DA 51,
5130,
yeah, 5130,
2.2.
2.210.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it for me. But I do want to make sure that as soon as Kathy figures out the water, we get on
I'm totally with you.
those two
I could see
that
it.
are underwater.
You could do it in December for
Yeah.
all I care.
Okay, so then,
So I'll make the motion to accept this budget, this tentative budget as preliminary, with the understanding that the snow plowing gets moved, the 303,000 of snow plowing gets moved to the outside town for now.
For now, until we have a discussion.
Right,
With the understanding that stipulation, make sure we bring it up to the public hearing and let the public have a comment.
yeah.
And then I'll second it.
is there any further discussion?
You're fine with that, Eddie?
You're gonna have to rewrite that for me, because I'm looking at it all.
Yeah, get it from, I wasn't,
What
I
do you
didn't write it
have, and
down.
I can't read that for
All
you.
right, Linda made a motion to accept the tentative budget as preliminary, with understanding that 303,000 of the snow plowing gets moved to the outside with stipulation it goes,
To the outside town, the highway outside town,
to outside,
to the highway outside.
What is that, D?
A 51,
D-
a
To
DB,
the DB fund,
yeah,
to-
DB fund. You can just write,
Right.
the fund.
and that other stipulation thing is not.
You don't want that in
No, I
there?
don't think so, because I already said it here, with the understanding that I want to move it to
The
preliminary, assuming that with this is taking
Move
place.
to DB
Right.
fund.
Right.
Okay. So you're taking it from the
The
303,000.
DA fund to the
from
DB.
Okay.
Yes.
So DA to DB.
I don't know, do we have to put in that, should be addressed at the public hearing?
That we moved it?
Yeah, in the motion, should that?
No, because I'm guessing that we'll get a revised version. The public is not gonna get this. They're gonna get it after this change is made.
no, actually, they'll get that tonight. Darlene's gonna get a copy of this tonight.
Oh, okay.
She has to publicize it.
So aren't you gonna change that in there? Can you handwrite it in? The preliminary? 'Cause they're
No, what
gonna-
I'll do is I'll give you,
So you're gonna use this cover page.
you use this cover page, I'll give you this sheet to go with it, which shows
Okay,
the 408 and 269.
that's all I'm putting on the website?
No, you put the whole budget on.
Okay, I was saying, usually I put.
I would,
the whole
I would
thing.
make a note on that page though, on the DA fund page, that those two lines were moved to DB,
Yeah.
just so that if people look at it, it's not gonna match this front page.
Okay, roll call vote. Ed,
Yep,
Jeff,
Yes,
Steve,
yes.
Linda,
Yes.
and I vote no, motion's carried. All right, we're good.
So when we get a copy of this,
Darlene will make it public tonight, right? Well, we gotta work on doing that.
You say so.
Yeah.
I gotta be here till 9 o'clock, so I might as well do something.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
we can pick it up here tomorrow, a copy.
Oh, yeah, I'll have a copy for you.
And then we're having
I'm not gonna be here
discussion
for the part of the
Thursday.
day tomorrow, so I've gotta be in Buffalo for an appointment.
Then we
But I'll,
can
I'll do it
discuss
tonight.
Thursday.
I'll do it tonight, and we'll have,
24 hours to look this whole thing over. Very disappointed.
Are we good?
yep, I'm good.
All right, thanks, everyone.
We could schedule more than one public hearing too, so we get more time to look at it.
So there's no meeting tomorrow night, then?
No.
No.
All right, let me get this. You want an electronic copy, Darlene?
Scott, can you show us,
Thank you.
can you show us the cameras
The
while
cameras,
we're here?
yeah.
So-
Thanks, Darlene. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.